It is crazy, but it is. I mean, I don't know what else to tell people, and you don't hear anybody trying to analyze the image in any which way, but oh wow, what a video, what a find, and really, but come on man, talk to me. Look at the eyebrow on this side of the face. It's a bunch of fingers too, it's made out of fingers. Look, you can see the outline fainted. And it does the same thing. It repeats side to side, and it continues to show the exact same configuration. Look at the finger now. And each one of them has the same exact thing. It's just that, like I say, it's difficult for people to look objectively at this type of image, because it's insane in the petty life that we're living on this planet. We are groomed to believe nothing else but what they tell us that is supposed to be the reality, the truth, and that's why this planet is always at war, because people have tunnel vision. They don't think outside the box, and they don't see anything else. They just don't want to think any different way. Somebody that does image recovery or Photoshop, it can work on this image and show exactly what I'm saying. This dude that worked on the other image from the Leonard Walson recordings of the moon, this guy Torcatero, this dude worked on some images that I sent him from the Cassini orbiter, and he found the faces that I told him he was gonna find, some really demonic looking faces. But when I start finding out that they were not just faces, but faces made out of hands, and it's really hands, but the intercepting lines in every different direction, it portrays a face or an animal or something else. But it's all the basic shape of the thing is a hand, like this piece right here. Let me use my own hand to show you that what I'm saying is the correct anatomy. Look, right there. See the fingers? Like it's holding something. And then you see it this way too. Like that. But each one of them is holding a little, it has a little hand holding every single finger. And then you see right here, and then you see a smaller rectangular shape bend. It's a fingernail. And this whole big deal is a one huge fingernail, but it subdivides and it goes smaller and smaller. And this goes bigger and bigger, and you can see that it repeats right here next to that, because that's what that is. It's an enormous hand like that. But it repeats in fractals. In that moon image, that crispy clear colorful moon image that I found that I posted recently. You can see that in tiny, medium, large, super large, and ultra enormous. The entire Tsiolkovsky crater, which is really a molten hole, is the center of an enormous finger. So you can imagine how big the hand must be. Is that crater that is like 50 miles around. I'm not sure if that's the right size, but it's enormous. Is really what that is. Dr. Berggruen said that what's in the center of that crater or molten hole, the Tsiolkovsky, there is an electromagnetic vehicle that he claimed that is the vehicle that towed the moon to its current orbit and is still attached to the moon. I don't know how he came up with that conclusion, but he must have seen something in the NASA secret archives, because the images that he showed in Ringmakers of Saturn, that conference, are super. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Before, since, or after. The image of a third astronaut on the moon, and it was a make-believe astronaut done by the entities. So they were trying to show those astronauts that these entities can imitate anything. So they imitated an astronaut, and they tried to imitate the lunar module, the lander. But after a while, it didn't come out right. And after a while, it turned into some kind of organic-looking mass that, wow. And I'm telling you, those astronauts have seen things up there that it just blew their mind. When you look at the Apollo 11 astronaut, when Nixon was congratulating them and stuff, you can see that the guys were just staring into emptiness. Their sight was not there, but thinking what they saw on the moon. They looked traumatized. And for some weird reason, nobody asked them why they wouldn't talk about the moon, what they felt, what they saw, was nothing. They wouldn't say nothing, and they never did. In a program, in a Discovery Channel, Ancient Aliens, on one of those programs, they asked Aldrin to look at some pictures where they found all these enormous structures, but I mean a lot of them. And he told them that he didn't want to see them, he didn't want to touch them, and he didn't want to know anything about it. I mean, it's like he didn't want to touch a hot-ass potato. And the only reason is because they told him, you talk about this shit, you die. Or your family, or your friends, or your family friends, and everyone else. It's like he signed his life away, each one of them, and none of them I ever talk about. Even that astronaut, Edgar Mitchell, from Apollo 14, he will not say what I saw on the moon, and the buildings, or the structure, none of that. Say, oh, alien life exists, and UFO, I have friends. Yeah, really, but why don't you talk about what you saw? Talk to us, tell us what did you see. Nah, he wouldn't. At the end, he died not long ago. At the end, he said, yes, the aliens and the whatever. But I mean, the whole thing is bizarre. And when you look at the moon images, you see all this structure, and then you see, well, how the hell people, first, how I didn't see this before, even so they've always been there. And how come nobody else, the so-called normal people, don't see any of that? And they have a hard time even thinking about it, think you're crazy or whatever, because they're groomed to think like that. So coming back to this deal, how come this face right here look exactly like this other face? In the sky, this face right here. Look at the similarity as Aaron Kenny. But like I said, this whole deal is made with hands and fingers and whatever. That's the symbol. And once you know that, then you will feel something different changes. And you get the attention from whoever is controlling this system. And check this out. This deal right here. That's not a cloud. That's some kind of sphere or something there. The guy that recorded this image in the sky recorded some strange sounds that sounded like trumpets and metallic rusted door, shit like that. Or just to tell you what it is, this is a hand. And it's made out of a bunch of hands in every which way, in every part of this so-called cloud. Well, that is being projected every day, all day long, all over Earth. It's like a reminder. The only thing that I ever found about this hand holding the cylinder, it was in a translation by Zacharias Sitchin. In one of his books, he talked about Enki holding the cylinder that contains the divine laws of the universe. And Jose Escamilla found a statue. There was a small statue of him holding that cylinder thing. But there is another statue that was found on the moon that is 6 miles tall, and it has the exact same shape as that small statue found in Iraq. A Sumerian statue depicting Enki holding the universal law, divine laws of the divine laws of the universe cylinder. And those laws is like a reminder. You break those laws, you have karma. You have to follow those laws. And they include moral laws, physical, chemical, mathematical, all kinds of laws, spiritual laws. I mean, it makes sense. And when you see this, you see that this is an enormous finger, this is another finger, and then there's smaller fingers. And it's all the same thing. It's no other shapes. And they appear to look like a face because that's how the things that we see are being made from. The basic shape is bunch of hands. The intersecting line look like a face or an animal. There is the face recorded with a telescope on the moon by Leonard Watson, John Leonard Watson. the same one that showed those deep space objects and much more. José Escamilla made a